Okay, welcome back everybody. I'm going to be going over my ice bar build with you and explain to you why it is good. There's a ton of little kids going around the D3 forums and people, trolls just going around, oh, ice build sucks, this and that. Nope, not with the last patch. They added some really good benefits last patch to the ice build. So I'm going over a few with them. First of all, go over some gear. Can't go wrong with a Sunkeeper. You can use Utars instead, but Sunkeeper outputs more damage than Utar. Azrath. Absolutely need it for the ice build. Not because it's just OP for damage. This is actually a really good one for damage, but you're going to look at that secondary skill, 24.6% chance to freeze on hit. Very key for an ice build. The second thing you're going to need, absolutely for an ice build, is Frostburns. I am still farming for them. I had a pair, but it did not roll the stats I wanted, so I salvaged them. Gonna be going for a good one. You need Frostburns because of the secondary. You can have up to a 45% chance to freeze on hit. So when you combine that with Azarath, you have a 70% chance to freeze on hit. Absolutely nuts. So when you're using any kind of ice attack, it's gonna freeze. If you're in a pack, you're gonna freeze like half of them. Odd guilds, can't go wrong. I mean, who hates reduced damage and more elite damage? It's OP, one of the best set items out right now as far as crafting goes. You're gonna need Reaper's Wraps, especially if you're gonna be running the Seismic Slam build like I do. It costs 30 Fury each cast, so look at my Fury. After a couple, I'm out. So if you're gathering health orbs, you're gonna be set. I mean, you really can't go wrong there. They're the best bracers in the game. I mean, people can argue that Nemesis are just because they spawn elites, but I gotta go with Reaper's Wraps. Can't go wrong. Now we're gonna go for the skills. Frenzy with Sidearm, just because it's really the only primary cold attack they have right now. Pretty nice. Increases your attack speed altogether, and it randomly kind of kicks out that sidearm that can pierce through enemies and hit anything in its path. Really nice. The OP move you're going to be running with this build, Seismic Slam, hands down. Not only does it give you a ton of damage, 755% weapon damage is cold and slows enemies by 60% per second. It's going to give you range. So now you're not limited to close range. You can sit out and blast Seismic Slam and crit for 30, 40, 50 million every time from a distance. Avalanche, you can run several skills here. I chose Avalanche because it has a short cooldown, a lot of damage, and it freezes everything with the Glacier rune. You could run, let's say you're having trouble with taking too much damage, you don't have much armor. Let's see, redirect, you can choose Crushing Advance. Redirect 35% of incoming melee damage back to the attacker for 5 seconds after Overpower is activated. So that is going to reduce your damage by 35% for a couple seconds. I wouldn't use that. I would go with Avalanche, just because you can freeze everything, they're not going to hit you, period. A lot of people use Earthquake. Chilling Earth is really good. The only downside is it's like Avalanche, but just with a bigger cooldown. That's why I don't see the point in using it. You could run Sprint here. I know when I get Frostburns, I'm going to run Whirlwind instead of Avalanche, just because of that 70% chance to freeze on hit. When you're running Whirlwind and you're just spinning through shit, you're going to be freezing everything. Until you get the Frostburns and Azarath combo, use Avalanche. I mean, even then, I might still run Avalanche, just for the guaranteed chance to freeze everything. So, Wrath of the Berserker. When I think damage cooldowns, I go OP with the damage, so I'm using Insanity. It adds another 50% increased damage. Can't really go wrong. You nuke everything. I mean, just look at it. You can't complain about Insanity. There's other runes you can use. Thrive on Chaos is nice. Life for Fury Spent, pretty badass. You can use Driving Giant if you're in a big pack. There's multiple elites, champions, because it reduces damage by 50%. Okay, so Wrath of the Berserker with Slaughter is interesting. So a critical hit, which you're almost going to always be critting in Wrath of the Berserker, you're going to cause 300% weapon damage to enemies within 15 yards every time you crit. Pretty cool. If you're wanting just a lot of damage off the initial pop, when you hit your Wrath of the Berserker, Arit's Wall is a good way to go. Especially if you're stacking fire. I know this is an ice build, but if you're using fire, that's a good one to use. But I would go with Insanity. Battle Rage, I use Marauder's Rage just for the extra damage. I switch it up though. You could pretty much everything besides Sword to Plowshares. That's the only one I don't like. You're good with Ferocity, increases duration. Into the Fray, increases your critical hit chance for everybody within 10 yards when you're under Battle Rage. Very OP. If you're having trouble stacking your critical hit chance, use this. Bloodshed is just nice, because critical hits cause an explosion of blood, dealing 20% of the damage done to all other nearby enemies. There's a lot of different ways you can go. You can't really go wrong there. I switch it up just to keep things interesting. So as far as passives go, I use Weapons Master just for the guaranteed damage. So it can, give you a combination. You don't have to use two swords. You can use a mace and an axe, or say a sword and a mace, dagger and a mace. I wouldn't recommend using a polearm just because compared to the other ones, they're slow, they don't hit as hard, and they don't have many element damage bonuses. Bloodthirst, this is optional. This is just for people that prefer survivability over damage. I switch mine up depending on what torment me and my friends are playing on. If we're T4 and above, Bloodthirst just to give me survivability. If you're anything below that, or if you have plenty of toughness, run Ruthless. Especially in a group, because when you got everybody attacking one thing, they get to 30% health pretty quick. So you're just going to be bashing shit. I think the highest I hit with my Seismic Slam while Ruthless was active, Wrath of the Berserker, was 75 mil. That was a lucky crit. I haven't seen one go that high since, but just saying. Some people use Superstition, reduces damage, and gives you Fury gain. So I don't really care for that one. I don't see a point. I guess if you're playing in really tough torments, you could use that, but I mean, you got Tough as Nails, Nerves of Steel. There's a lot of other ways you can go. If you're struggling with Fury generation, try Animosity. Stack that with Unforgiving, and you should have plenty of Fury generation. I wouldn't recommend using both just because you're going to have to sacrifice either survivability or damage. One that you have to run on every build as a barb is Rampage. Do not use anything else in place of Rampage. Increases strength by 1% for 8 seconds after killing and assisting and killing an enemy. This effect stacks up to 25 times, so you're gaining 25% of your total strength, which is a lot of damage. We're talking a couple 100,000 in damage there. And you don't have to kill everything. It could be your group killing shit. You could be in town in that stacking. It's very nice. So I'm going to go into this little portal, give you a little example of kind of how the barb plays. Freeze everything. Seismic Slam. Very handy. Right now I'm kind of running low on health. I need to respec a little bit, but it's farming T3 quite easily. Pop Wrath just so you could see kind of what this does. These are white mobs, so it's not even using my extra elite damage right now, and I'm critting 20, 30, 40 mil. Freeze everything, go over, beat the shit out of it, and you're good. So I know there wasn't an elite pack in there, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to run the video too long. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped with the ice build. Give it a try. It is really good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. I'm out.